Man, I know Obama didn't just say what he just said. I know he ain't just say what he just said, man. Y'all stay tuned. We finna get into this uh conversation that Obama had with his wife, Michelle, and some other dude. And when I tell you what he just said is mind-boggling for every man, every real man, uh, every father, y'all should feel some type of way about what y'all president just said. We finna get into it, man. But before we get into it, make sure you go get a copy of my book, man. The 7 Principles That Changed Me by Mike Green. I guarantee you it's gonna change your life. Available on Amazon, and I'm gonna leave the link in the bio. Let's get to it.
Need.
Well, look, I think you started hinting at it. As somebody who was raised by a single mom, not perfectly, but that unconditional love as a start is the right one.
Mm-hmm.
I do think, though, thinking about raising boys in the same way you're thinking about raising daughters, which is how do you make them good, responsible people who know how to function and know.
Hey, let me say this real quick. Obama knows how to. He's a wordsmith. He knows how to play on people's emotions. He know how to dance around with the words. Same thing. What's her name was doing? Kamala Harris. He's just better. She was just horrible at it. But Obama knows exactly what he's doing, man. You know, he starts off by saying, "Hey, I was raised by a single mom," right? And then turn around and try to say boys and girls should be raised the same, and it sounds good. Trust me, it sounds good. He's setting it up. He's setting the people up to try to make it seem like what he's saying is justified. Let's watch.
How to understand themselves well enough that they can navigate this really complicated world, and setting high expectations. So there are a lot of these things that apply to boys and girls. I do think that there are some particular issues with boys that as a society we're not addressing. I do think as a society we have to create more structures for boys and men to have guidance, rituals, frameworks,
What do you mean by
encouragement.
rituals?
To be able to meet a wide range of role models so that whatever their inclinations, they can see a path to success that isn't just sports or money, making a lot of money. And so that's on all of us together. What I would say to Emma would be, in your community, even if you have a wonderful male partner who's in the house, I think it still would be good to find assets in the community, people in the community, friends in your community.
Keep this in mind. Listen to what I'm telling you and listen to how he's breaking it down. Everything that he says sounds great. It sounds like, hey, man, he's on to something. Men need a community. Boys need role models. We understand that. But just watch how he's driving it home and watch the whole agenda. It's not about your goddamn boys having no male structure in the house. It ain't about them having a father, because he's going to tell you having a father ain't good enough. Having a father in your life is not good enough. You're going to need to do more. But he's setting it up, though. Y'all got to pay attention to how he's breaking it down and trying to structure it and trying to line it up so y'all will bite into it.
Places of worship, community organizations, what have you, where there are a bunch of men who can be sort of elders to boys. And so they're not just looking at one particular role model, but many. And one of the things when Michelle and I first started dating and I'd go over to your guys' house, one of the things I loved was just,
being around
seeing
men.
all your uncles.
Being around
and
men.
your cousins. And there were a bunch of different kinds of men.
Mm-hmm.
There were men that were kind of soft-spoken, and then there were men that were loud. And
Allegedly, Obama is the first homosexual president that we've ever had. Allegedly. Allegedly. It's been reported. If you guys just do some research, allegedly. Go look at what Joan Rivers said years ago, right before she passed. Allegedly. I got to say allegedly because, allegedly. But pay attention, man. Pay attention. He loved being around her uncles and all of that. You get what I'm saying? He loved being around men.
who were engineers, and then there were men who were
police officers,
or they drove, a
jitney
cab.
Yep.
Right? And that's one of the things that I think a lot of times boys need is not just exposure to one guy.
Mm-hmm.
One dad.
No matter how good the dad
is. He can't be everything.
He can't be everything. And then that boy.
You see how she's this is a conversation that they've had. This is a conversation that they've had. And I want to say this to the people that's watching me. I have a lot of homosexual people that support me. And shout outs to y'all. Kudos to y'all. I respect you. I respect your lifestyle. I respect what you have going on. What I don't appreciate about some of the homosexuals is the fact that you guys try to force feed it to people. If we don't agree, we're homophobic. It's something wrong with us. We're the problem. Whatever you choose to do in the bedroom is your goddamn business, man. That's your business. We ain't got nothing to do with that. But don't try to bring what you got going on in your bedroom outside of your bedroom and make me accept it. Make me want to go with it. I'm not force feeding none of my beliefs down your throat. So I don't feel like when they do this, especially targeting children, that's where you got to draw the line. These are kids. Their mind ain't even all the way developed. A child's mind is not fully developed in a human. Their mind is not fully developed until they get 25 years old. They're talking about kids here. Kids. They don't even know, they can't even decide what they want for breakfast. Fruit Loops or Lucky Charms. But you're trying to make an impression, put impressions in their minds as kids about their sexual orientation. Nah, that's bullshit. That's where we got to draw the line at.
Need somebody to give the boys some perspective on the dad.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And that's what the mom's there for.
One of the most valuable things I learned as a guy was
listen to this.
I had a gay professor in.
This motherfucker ain't come out and say, "Hey man, I had a uncle that did me right." None of that. None of that. You ain't got no pastor. You saying go to the pastor for different role models. You're the person that made an impact on you. Not saying there's nothing wrong. Is a gay professor. It's a gay professor. Again, not saying nothing is wrong with that, but fuck out of here, bro.
At a time when openly gay folks still weren't out of line. Who became one of my favorite professors and was a great guy and would call me out when I started saying stuff that was ignorant. You need that to show empathy and kindness. And by the way, you need that person in your friend group so that if you then have a boy who's gay or non-binary or what have you, they have somebody that they can go, okay, I'm not alone in this.
Yeah.
Right. So that I think is creating that community. I know it's corny, but that's what they need.
And we talk a lot about what we had with our mother and father, right? And a lot of times but we really did have a big community of people in our lives.
Right.
I mean, that we don't talk a lot about that on this show. We allude to it, but Craig and I, we grew up in a huge community of extended
Correct.
aunts and uncles and cousins and all types of male
And
role
that helped.
models, which helped in broadening out and filling in where our mother and father were limited.
So for Emma, I'm picking up a couple of things. Community, big,
Huge.
not just
A single mom,
a
mom and dad.
or mom and dad, but a broad community. And I can appreciate you using our family as an example, but uncles, but not necessarily blood
It doesn't
uncles,
have to be blood.
but men who can who can give a kid or kids some contextualization of who their parents are.
Right. And
That's-
also,
And what it
and
means-
can model.
Yeah.
There are a lot of ways to be a responsible, respected, strong man. And you don't have to be rich, and you don't have to be a professional athlete.
And you don't have to go find it on the internet
And-
among
correct.
a group of unclear influences, and this is a thing that parents, Emma has to understand, if her sons aren't getting it,
They'll look for it
they are going
someplace
to
else.
look for it because boys need this.
Right.
Whether they think that they're happy playing video games on their own, and we haven't even talked about how the rise in video games has sort of left kids feeling like, well, this is who I am. I'm alone, or I'm interacting through a game virtually, but I don't have any.
So basically, what they saying is, you being a father to your child, you're not a good enough role model. Your child needs somebody outside the home. Your child needs somebody else to be a role model to them, preferably somebody gay. That's been the agenda the whole time. This is the agenda the whole time, from the time Obama got into office. And I know a lot of black people ain't gonna want to hear it, but it's the truth. That's why God said it in the Bible. My people perish for a lack of knowledge. We want to be willfully ignorant. We want to be willfully blind to the things that's going on in our community, and then we want to turn around and complain about it. No, we have people like this that we put in position. Just because of their status or because of their notoriety, we put these people in position. You allow these people to speak and pour into your life the bullshit that goes against what God says, and then you sit up there and try to justify it. If somebody comes up against it, then you feel some type of way. A heterosexual male, young boy, that's not feeling like this shouldn't be exposed to homosexual men. Same thing with women. Shouldn't be exposed, little girls shouldn't be exposed to homosexual girls. Women, I mean. Allow them to get older so they can make their own decision. Michelle Obama really runs everything. And allegedly, this has been Obama's plan from the beginning. It's not about the heterosexual male. It's not about the family structure. It's about them pushing this agenda on your kids. Man, leave a comment below. Let me know what y'all think. I really want to hear what y'all have to say about this situation. You can go find the whole interview. It's online in its entirety. And again, grab a copy of my book, The 7 Principles That Changed Me by Michael Green. Until next time, man, I holler at y'all. We out.